After 87 meetings for the season so far, it has come to this. The final meeting, the season finale at Sha Tin on Sunday, has 11 races. Really good program too. And it's the last racing to win for the season also. And to preview it all, of course, it's Paul Lally and Tom Wood. And Tom, there's nothing more after Sunday.
No, there's not, Mark. It's all done and dusted, but we've got 11 races to get through. Weather might be a little bit iffy. We're under a T1 at the moment, so we'll see how that plays out through the day. But there's a lot of good races on the card. We've got Tuchel going around in the main event, taking on and counted. How brave was he last time out? But some of those other races are very, very even.
They are indeed. And Paul Lally joins us as well with some big news on a massive jackpot.
Yeah, a really good jackpot going into the triple trio. 23 million going in, so it should get up to over the 36 million mark. So definitely worth having a crack there for sure. We've got 600,000 going into the second double trio, and as we've been doing for these twilight meetings, $1 million goes into the last two races in the quartet first four merge pool. So some decent jackpots there.
That is what is coming up Sunday. We're going to go back to Friday night right now, where the Champions Award took place and the Horse of the Year was crowned.
The winner of the Horse of the Year is Golden 60.
Golden 60 is, of course, is special for me and for probably one of the highlights of my career. You know, it's a horse that still today is inspired me a lot, and as a rider, I've been very humbled by what he has done, because it's not just as an athlete, he's not just physically fast, but his mind is what makes him so special. As an athlete, still today, I'm learning from him every day. So I wish we can take a horse here, and because I think Golden 60 deserve all the applause from not just here, but around Hong Kong, around the world. Thank you.
Horse of the Year, Golden 60. He was also crowned a champion miler. Other winners on the night, they were: Most Improved went to Beauty Eternal. Champion Griffin, How Deep Is Your Love. Champion 4-year-old and sprinter was Lucky Swayness. Vincent Ho won the Tony Cruz Award. Zach Purton, the jockey. John Size, the trainer. Russian Emperor, the champion sprinter, or the champion stayer actually, couldn't read the handwriting. Golden 60, the miler, of course, and Romantic Warrior was champion middle distance horse. And as we just saw, Horse of the Year was Golden 60, and somewhat controversially, English Tipster of the Year went to our very own Paul Lally in a very closely run race. So well done, Paul, off that massive effort from Happy Valley on Wednesday night.
Very worthy winners there, weren't they, throughout the card? We'll keep it straight back there, and a really nice, I mean, it must have been close between Golden 60 and Lucky Swayness, but Golden 60 came through.
England bringing Jeffrey Boycott back.
Exactly.
He actually had a fight on his hands for Horsey this year, didn't he?
He did. Lucky Swayness, of course. I think if maybe the cards had gone the other way for International Day and Lucky Swayness had certainly won the sprint on International Day, I think we could have seen a different result for sure.
That was the Champions Awards held on Friday night here in Hong Kong. We've got scratchings, and there's a few of them for this meeting. Race 1, number 12, Noir Rider is out. Not backing up from Wednesday night. Race 3, Kaying Warrior goes out. Hong Kong Hall comes in. Zach Purton was to ride Kaying Warrior, he'll ride Hong Kong Hall. Race 4, number 6, Forever Folks is scratched, replaced by Win-Win Fighter and Lyle Hewitson. Race 6, Speedy Chariot is now Amazing Travis with Lyle Hewitson. And they are the horse withdrawals for the meeting. So plenty of them. You can find them all on the website too, hkjc.com. But this is the makeup for the meeting on Sunday. 4 o'clock start, which is the norm, of course, for the later part of the season, and they're on the A course to finish it off. 4 o'clock the first, couple of Class 5s, the two races we focus on. Race 8, the Hong Kong Racehorse Owners Association Trophy, the Class 1 over the 1600, and the Joy and Fun Handicap, the Class 2 over the 1200 metres. Race number 8, extended rating Class 1, Tourbillon Diamond. Group racing all season for him, so he comes down in grade. Tuchel won the Group 3 Premier Plate last time. Red Lion placed over the 1600 at Nace. He's having his first look at the distance here in Hong Kong. Encountered huge win at Happy Valley last time. The Irishman has the hood going on. Flaming Rabbit, last start winner over the 1400, steps up in trip for the second time. He placed his first go at the mile. And then we've got the all-weather horses. Havan Aguilar's won his last 3 on the all-weather, and True Legend He is a turf winner twice, but a 3-time winner on the all-weather. Class 1, Tom, so as you'd expect, it's a really good field, and Flaming Rabbit leaves the gate as fast as any horse in Hong Kong.
He does. He can leave the machine very quickly, and he should be able to show them a clean pair of heels early and get across here in front of Circuit Stella, who can race handy. He's got barrier 3. True Legend normally always goes forward, hasn't gone forward in his last couple, has True Legend, and he's certainly more known for his all-weather form. And then you've got Tukul and Red Lion. They should get nice runs with the odd one out, Paul, towards the back, Columbus County and barrier 12. Not sure this is the right race for him.
No, I think he's going to have to go back. Interesting with True Legend, as you say, because he did lead in a recent trial, and with the apprentice claim, he might try and make it hard for Flaming Rabbit from barrier 1. But there is a query, as you said, he's gone back the last couple. As there is a bit of pace in this race, I think it will open up, which means most horses will be able to get their chance. And Counted was a huge run when wide last time, but I think he can be able to slot in their midfield.
We'll talk more about Encountered shortly, but an interview to kick us off. Nick spoke to Frankie Law, who's well represented with 3 horses in the race.
Frankie Law, you're very well represented at the final meeting of the season coming up on Sunday at Sha Tin. You've got 3 in the feature, race 8 at Class 1. Let's start with Havan Nagila. Now, he's been in tremendous form on the all-weather. What is it that's brought you to this decision to run him back on the turf?
I think he also can win it on the turf, because the horse in England, he win 3 times on the turf, so I think it should be okay, no problem. Yes.
His improvement, Frankie, on the dirt has been quite exceptional, hasn't it? I mean, did you ever think that he would improve the way he has done for the switch to the surface?
I think so. I think both tracks should be no problem for him, and so this time I just try on the turf. I think should be okay. Lightweight also, yeah.
If we cast our memories back to March, he ran second to the useful Ching on the turf. He's now gone into a mark in the 80s. Your horse has got up to 91. So, I mean, on that sort of form, you'd have to give him some sort of chance. Has he shown you all the right signs in his track work leading up to this that he can win again?
I think so, because the horse still improve. So lightweight, I think usually is better for the horses. You know, some horses 135, so our horse is lightweight. I think should be good for him.
He's had a recent trial, Frankie, as well. Were you happy with the trial?
Yeah, he tried good. Yeah.
He's joined by a couple of stable mates. Beauty Live in the race as well. He was a Class 2 winner this season over course and distance. Going back up in trip to a mile, that should suit him?
Of course, he's better distance, 16 or later on he can handle 1800. Last time he not much race for him. I just put him on 1400, but he's still running good, yeah.
I must just ask you about your other runner as well, True Legend down at the bottom. He's obviously perhaps up against it, but he's in the race for you as well, so gives you a bit of strength and depth and sort of numbers, really.
Yeah, this horse I think is this season is enough for him. But anyway, if he can still have a race for him, just give him a race. Maybe he can drop down some rating, yeah.
There he is, Frankie Law, talking about his 3 runners in race number 8, the Hong Kong Racehorse Owners Association Trophy. We move on, Tom, to our first replay, and it is a Tukul. This is Group Company last time. It was the running of the Group 3 Premier Plate. He goes up 11 pounds for the drop-in class. Also in this race is Spirited Express at the back, and Tourbillon Diamond. He's just been finding it tough, certainly the back half of the season, taking on the group horses. He's
been back to the trials, so Tourbillon Diamond ran 6th. Not a lot of pressure put on him, but he's out of sorts at the moment, so I'm happy to go against him here with 133 pounds. Tukul was able to sit right by the speed and quicken off the front, which in the end was the winning of the race for him. But look, I give Spirited Express a chance in this race, Paul, the way he's been going. Yeah, look,
the way the race will be run will suit him, because there's a lot of pace in this race, so he does get back, so I think he'll be finishing off strongly.
We can have a look and see what Tukul has done, Paul, so far. And winner last time, that was 1,800 metres. He's back to the mile this week.
He is. He's got to come back in distance. Look, he's up 11 pounds as well. Look, he's still one of the major chances, but there's just a couple of little things there that's going to make it a little bit harder for him this week than it has for when he won last time.
Yeah, I think even though he was the winner of the Premier Plate, we know what a great season he's had. He's won 6 of his 15 starts through his career. I think he's still good enough to win this, even with 133 on his back.
Good report for Tukul. We move on now, Tom, to our next replay, which features in the Premier Cup. So same day as Tukul winning, they go up from the 14 to the 1600. Different tactics from Circuit Stella this day, with plenty of speed in the race. They rode him off the pace, Red Lions on the outside. Circuit Stella very good being ridden the way he was.
He was, and look, he's sat next to the winner in this race. That was Beauty Eternal, had a nice run just in behind the pace here. I know he's got a good record this season, Paul, and he does enjoy course and distance, but going from 1-1-8 to 1-3-1 against a very good opposition, I think is going to be tough for him this time.
Yeah, look, he's definitely way up in the weights. One thing about him is he always tries hard. He's a horse that you like to own because he always puts in. I've included him on a very minor line.
That was Beauty Eternal. He was taking a ground off in that race. This is one of the wins of the season at Happy Valley last time. His name is Encountered. So this is what he's done in the early stages. That's him from barrier number 10. They'll come down to the winning post the first time here, Paul. He's wide. He's wide the entire. And then we'll see what he does up the straight.
Yeah, look, this is, for me, this was the performance of the season at Happy Valley. He was just wide the whole way. He was not entitled to win this race by any stretch of the imagination and wins by 4 lengths. I think it was just an amazing win.
It really was. So you can see he's just out in no man's land around that first turn into the 1,200 metres, and he didn't really have any options because there was all that pace underneath him, and if he burned him too much early, it was probably going to cost him at the end. But you can see him absolutely tanking along when all the rest of them, maybe apart from the second horse, are under a whole lot of pressure here. It was arrogant, Paul. He actually won this day, of course, last season at 198 to 1 in a Class 3 mile, but he's gone ahead and leaps and bounds since then.
Yeah, exactly. So, we know he comes right this time of year, and he's just a horse that's really improved. He's one of these British horses that come over. He just taken a while to acclimatise. He went through the 4-year-old series, and then he's come out and done this. So, look, I think he can win this race.
No issues at all going back to Sha Tin.
Not at all. He's a course and distance winner.
All right, that is Encountered there off the Happy Valley victory. Here is a Flaming Rabbit, Tom, and we'll see him jump out of the gates fast. He's just buried in the middle there. Super Wind Dragon, which actually, it's somewhat of an optical illusion from this camera. He was out quicker than it might look here, and he just rolls to the front and keeps on going.
He charges forward, this horse, and he's had a good season. They, of course, obviously had big raps on him. They had an entry for the Derby, and they were just going to go into the Derby straight up, first up, with basically nothing under his belt. But they opted out of that, and that probably in the end, Paul, was a blessing in disguise with what he's been able to come out and do. And Douglas White's got a few sort of questions now to sort of pose with this horse, because he's still an entire, so if he doesn't run well, he might be 2 stone lighter next season.
It could well be, couldn't he? But look, he is going really well at the moment, this one, and another one that's sort of taken a little while to acclimatise, won really nicely. He did beat Find My Love, who's been in great form as well, so it's quite a strong form race he's come out of.
And that was the champion Griffin running third in How Deep Is Your Love, so there's plenty of quality around the win of a Flaming Rabbit. Gee, it's a good race though, Paul.
Yeah, really good race. It's one of those ones, who do you leave out in this contest? But look, I'm going to go with Encountered. I thought it was just an amazing win last time. I think he can beat Tuchel, who's up 11 pounds, but that's a quinella for me, 5 to beat 2. Flaming Rabbit won't be far away, and Circuit Seller's So Honest. Really good race. 5, 2, 8 and 4.
Similar sort of numbers for the top 3, but we differ on fourth. But I think Tuchel can win this race again for Zach Purton and John Size. He was impressive. He sat just off the speed last time out, and he's trolled up nicely since. So with Tuchel to beat Encountered, I think they're the main 2. A lot of respect for Flaming Rabbit on what he's done so far. Got that well-deserved win last time out. And Spirited Express was third behind Tuchel. Was a little bit held up in the early part of the straight, but stayed on well, and he's never missed top 4 course and distance, Spirited Express. So 2, 5, 8 and 9.
And that is the preview for the Class 1 feature. We're going to take a break here on Racing to Win. Bit sad, because after this, we're back to preview the very last race of the current season. We go straight on to race number 11 on Sunday at Sha Tin. It's the Joy and Fun Class 2 over the 1,200 metres. Adios is on a 7-day backup and a class drop. Golden Express did plenty of early work last time and was beaten favourite. Packing Treadmill, 4-time distance winner. Beauty Charge, extra £6 for his last start win. Youthful Deal looking for 4 in a row, but the previous 3 all on the all-weather. We've got Goko Win, whose win was off a rating of 74, and Atomic Force has the hood going on. Another good field to finish the day here, Tom, and indeed the season. Who lands where?
Well, it's an interesting speed map here, because Computer Patch hasn't been leading, but he can go forward, and he is apprentice ridden here. Golden Express is drawn on barrier 11. Now, he won't want what happened last time to happen this time round, so he could maybe even potentially go on with it here. And Power Kip could get up outside to sort of Computer Patch, and Adios is another one that's got some pace. So if that was to sort of happen, there might be a slot for him, Paul, to get in. But I think Golden Express might be able to lead this field.
Yeah, look, I don't disagree with you there. I mean, the option is to go back if they think they're going to be caught wide, but there's no confirmed leader. So as such, I think Computer Patch will just go forward, and the other one is Bundle of Charm from barrier 3. I mean, what's Karras going to do? But I'm thinking he's unlikely to lead.
Well, Frankie Law has 2 runners in the race. Nick interviewed him, starting with asking Frankie about the first of his runners, Adios.
Yes, before we decide, I entered for the last day, and but last week in that class 1 only 5 runners, so I think maybe it's good for him. We got the lightweights. We try to race in first to see if he won good. Maybe I can win him on the last day again.
How has he backed up, Frankie? Obviously, it's a short space of time. I don't imagine you've done a great deal with him, but has he come out of that race very well?
Yes, he come back. It's good. He looked like still sound. Everything's good, healthy. Yeah.
He's had a tremendous season, hasn't he, really? 4 wins from 15. He's done a smashing job for you and his owners.
Yes. When I saw he already have a 15 start this season, but he win 4 times for me. It's good. Good result, yeah.
I guess the draw, Frankie, is a little bit of a negative for sure. I mean, he's in 13. He had 2 last week. I know it was a small field, but 13 does make it tricky.
Yes, this time draw 13 should be a little bit tricky. But anyway, he need to get some cover. I will talk to Alex to see what we can do is better, yeah.
Now, he's going to be joined by Youthful Deal now, a bit like another horse on the card for you, Having Nagila. This horse has been doing really well in the all-weather. You're back on the turf. He's a fascinating runner in this race, Frankie.
Yes, you know, he raced a few times on the turf, only, I think, 2 seconds, and still haven't got a winner. But I won him on the dirt. He looks much better. He like dirt. But anyway, no choice. So I won him again on the turf to see.
He's had a trial up at Chung Fei, giving him a bit of a break. He looked good in the trial. Has everything gone smoothly with him for this final run of the season?
Yeah, he goes smooth. Usually, in Chung Fa, come back. Before I will give him a trial and then come back to Hong Kong. Everything looks good, looks sound. Yeah.
That was Frankie Law on his 2 runners. This is Paul and Tom and a few of the other runners in this race. And Tom, will start with you. This is race 766, which features 6 horses backing up here, but the focus early is Golden Express and the work that he has to do.
Yeah, he just couldn't get in here, could he? He was looking for the sort of situation, what might happen, Zach, early in the run, and then you've got Campione, who's up on the pace here. You've got Computer Patch, and I guess Computer Patch's rider, he was entitled to hold his ground. That was Alice Wong on that occasion, and that was just the undoing of him, Paul, with all that early gas he had to spend.
Yeah, definitely. That's why I just thought, because there's no other leader in this race, that's why I thought Computer Patch might go on with it this time with Angus Chung. Change a rider for him. But look, Adios finishes off this race really well. He's drawn wide barrier 13, so he's with a big weight, so he's going to need a little bit of luck, I think, from that draw.
Yeah, well, of course, Adios was always originally targeting this race, but when they saw the race last week, they'd only had a few runners in it. They opted to throw a late entry in for that, so he's got to carry an extra 20 pounds here on what he did last time out. But Beauty Charge won this really well off the back of what was a good trial mark.
It was indeed, Tom. Yeah, and Packing Treadmills running home for 3rd in that replay. We move on, Paul, to Flying Ace last time. This is at the Monday night meeting. We're going to show the first part of this race because that's where his race was run.
Yeah, exactly. And look, so clear excuses. Hugh Bowman will be aboard here for this particular event as well. He's up against some of the big boys here, but I think he can do it. I've included him. I haven't got him on a win line, but I think he'll run well.
Yeah, he was right on the cusp. This was like watching an episode of Saw here. It just did not go well at all, and so you can see he's stranded wide and he's over racing and pulling and fighting. I think coming back to the 1200 metres will assist him as well with what should be hopefully a decent tempo.
Yeah, got a great record over 1200 metres too. It does a Flying Ace. We move on from him now, Tom, to Rock Your Heart, Atomic Force and Computer Patch.
Yeah, and he's such a consistent horse as Rock Your Heart. He always has his races well spaced. That seems to be always the plan that Francis Loy has with him. Francis is up to 66 winners for the season. He's trotted up at Chung Fa. Easton's come out of this race and since won, and he's always there giving his best, Paul.
Yeah, look, he does try hard, doesn't he? He's been second 6 times and third 7 times. Only won twice, which is it just shows how consistent he is. But look, I didn't get them in.
Who goes out a winner?
Look, I think Golden Express can win. I think he can bounce back. He had a hard run last time. I think he can win this race. Adios, look, this is the race he's been targeting. He's got to overcome the wide draw. We know he's a good horse. Flying Ace had excuses, and there was nothing wrong with the win last time from Beauty Charge. 2, 1, 8 and 5.
2, 4, 1 and 9. I think Golden Express can bounce back here, and it wouldn't shock at all if they decide to lead with him. Packing treadmill there. He was closing off well, as we saw in that replay. Adios, there's no way he's going to start over 20 to 1 in this race, the last start winner. And Rock Your Heart in on a minor line. 2, 4, 1 and 9.
There it is, the preview for race number 11. So we've seen 2 of the 11 races on the show so far. Paul, who are some of the other victors on the day?
Well, Vamos is a very long-standing maiden, but I think this could be his race. I've said this before, though, so we'll see how he goes. Look, Master of Luck won at his last start, and he stays in the grade. Fun Together won a really nice race earlier in the season, had excuses with wide draws after that. Circuit 9 was best race we've seen from him since a Griffin. Po on Way up to 1400 looks ideal for him. Co-partner Ambition finally got a barrier draw, and Packing Bowls got to overcome his wide draw.
He goes up in grade 2, does Packing Bowl, after a very, very impressive first start victory. Of that list, which one is the top?
Co-partner Ambition, downgraded, good draw, and he's so well rated, this horse. I think he can go bang there. And Fun Together, he's just a one-time winner from his 5 starts, but trialled really well up at Chung Fa recently. And we'll do the play in the big race, we've already covered that. Too Cool and Counted and Flaming Rabbit QQP.
Best comes up in race number 3, number 12, Nice to Be Met. Hasn't won from 6 starts, but I thought ran a really good race last time out. He's off a rating of 48. Darcy Legend was closing off from the back last time out. He's race 5, number 12, Matthew Chadwick for Francis Loy. And the play around him with June Planet, who's always running on, and publicist for Zach Burton.
Best bet last start winner going up in grey, but it was a big win by Master of Fortune, covered plenty of ground. Karis Teaton jumps on board this week for Pierrong. He's won 2 from 6, has Master of Fortune. The long shot will go with Super Fast Dragon again. Didn't think he was too bad over the 1,000 last time. Goes up to the 1,200 metres. Whitish draw, so I'll need some luck. And the play race 9, the downgrading Amazing Victory, Universal Horizon and Master of Fortune in a QQP. That has been Racing to Win for the current season. We can't preview Happy Valley on Wednesday night, Tom, so we'll ask you and Paul what some of your highlights have been throughout the year.
Probably Lucky Swain Esmark doing what he's done, going from a rating of 98 up to 131, and he won 8. He probably should have won 9.
That race that we had with Golden 60, Romantic Warrior, California Spangle, that was a really good race, that one.
It was indeed. There's 11 races to go for the season. We'll see you for the first of them at 4 o'clock from the team here at Racing to Win. Thanks and bye-bye.
Bye-bye.